The Great Lakes Broadcast and Sports Media Academy was an opportunity for students to come together and learn from industry professionals in radio and TV, on-air, engineering, kind of the whole ecosystem of broadcasting. And while it was branded as a sports academy, it really encompassed everything that's involved in broadcast. And we thought that was important because yes, a lot of people want to go into sports and play-by-play, but those jobs are somewhat limited. We wanted to give them some exposure to other opportunities in the industry.
My name is Miriam Bingham, and I currently am a senior at Michigan State University, and I major in broadcast journalism with a concentration in sports and a minor in broadcast. I'm attending today's event because I believe journalism is all about networking. I think this networking event helps me get another sense of veterans who have been in this industry, and you can only learn from those who have the experience, and I'm very big on learning from those who have actually done the real work.
I've had a lot of different role models and mentors throughout my career, and that's the biggest thing. You know, you have to know people. Networking is so important, and especially for females, I want to be a mentor. That's why I'm here today.
The Michigan Association of Broadcasters, we have 285 member stations, both in commercial TV and radio. It's kind of a three-pronged association. We advocate, we educate, and we celebrate. So today's event is a perfect example of how we educate, and we get students in front of those in the industry, teach them different ways to grow and potentially get themselves involved in the industry.
My name is Veronica Bolanos. I'm a senior at Michigan State University. I will be graduating this spring, and I'm majoring in journalism and minoring in sports journalism and broadcasting, with the hopes to go in some sort of on-air talent position. I'm a strong believer in that there's always more you can learn and there's always more people you can meet, and that's why I really wanted to come here today. I really wanted to learn more about the business.
First off, I think they need to know how to write. Writing is such an important part of everything I do. Aside from that, I think people should be hungry, be personable, be willing to get out there and show up. Figure out, okay, I want to do this. How do I get involved in this? Reach out to people, be okay with cold calling. I used to call different news stations just to talk to their news directors to say, hey, can I pick your brain for a little bit? Those skills come together. One gets you in the door, one helps you stay in the door.
There's a lot of things that being an athlete growing up helped me in the broadcasting industry is time management. You're a golfer, a student athlete, and you have golf practice and you have golf tournaments where you're missing 4 days of classes, and there's a lot of time management that goes into it, and that's helped me a lot in the sports broadcasting space because you're always under a tight deadline. You have to manage your time or you're not going to meet that deadline, and that's been probably the biggest skill that I've taken with me working for different TV stations. It's helped a lot.
There's a myriad of careers in broadcasting. Obviously the most forward-facing one is on air. You see anchors, you see play-by-play announcers. There are lots of those jobs, but they're also very challenging because so many people want them, but they do exist. But then there's a lot of other behind-the-scenes aspects. So engineering is a huge piece. We have a huge need in our industry for broadcast engineers, those who know how to keep us on air. Sales is another one, and that gives you great access. It gives you a fun opportunity, but also lets creative minds be creative in how they approach commercials and how they approach campaigns. And a word I use all the time is an ecosystem. On air doesn't work without the engineering. The engineering can't happen without sales. Sales can't work without management. So all of those things are connected in our industry. So really anything that you want to get into, there is a spot for you in broadcasting.
This event of the Michigan Association of Broadcasters was a tremendous success. I'm really glad that we were able to be here and participate. These students heard from professionals today, and they got some insight into what it might take to be successful. So by being here today, our students were exposed to professionals, they were exposed to folks who are looking for employees, and then as a program, we were able to talk to these aspiring high school students. I think all of that was accomplished here at this conference today.
One of the exciting things I think about being a young person coming up in broadcasting is we have found that, especially over the last couple of years, there's a much more civically engaged youth. This is an industry that cultivates that energy. Because if you want to make a difference and you want to talk about things that are important, you don't have a better megaphone than broadcasting. This allows you to connect with mass audiences, to share, maybe think of things in a different way, to move conversations forward.
For a young person, especially if they're interested in it, they should totally pursue a career in broadcasting. When a story's done really well, when it has natural sound that takes you to an event, maybe it's a campfire or a racetrack or the sounds of an ocean or of a forest at 5 a.m., you feel like you're transported to that place. These are high production value things, and they'll talk about spending a lot of time behind the computer just editing it. So these are all skills, regardless of whether you choose televised broadcast or terrestrial radio, online radio, satellite radio, TikTok, all these things. These are all tools that will help you succeed in life and build an audience, because at the end of the day, humans are social creatures and broadcast is really about connection.
You get to be on the sidelines of some of the most exciting games. Not everyone gets to do that. You get to cover elections and rub elbows with people that are literally making decisions that are changing the way that our world works. Having these students here today lets me know that there is an energy and there is a passion still for this industry. These are difference makers. These are creative minds that are thinking in a whole new way and thinking of how we can share stories and how we can tell stories and how we can cover stories. That's awesome, and that's very exciting. I think that gives us hope for not only the next 5 to 10 years, but generations to come. And if we can really tap into that spirit and that energy that we saw today, I think broadcasting will have a long life, and I think that's actually better for us as a country because we have people to be telling stories that matter and stories that change the way that we think and live.